Now, Narendra Modi's maiden speech at the United Nations General Assembly seems to have hit the chords around the world. Delegates from more than 100 countries lined up to greet and congratulate Modi after his speech. TV Today's managing editor Rahul Kanwal spoke to Ashok Kumar Mukherjee, the Indian ambassador to the United Nations, after Modi's debut.
We've got with us India's permanent representative to the United Nations, Mr. Ashok Mukherjee. Thank you very much, sir, for joining us in Headlines today. You've been speaking to several of your colleagues in the other missions here in New York. What's the sense that you got about the reactions and the feedback to our Prime Minister's first speech?
Well, the main reaction was an overwhelming sense of happiness and satisfaction that something that they all believe in their individual delegations was finally brought into an overall picture by the Prime Minister of India. And if you looked at the number of people who came out of the hall to congratulate the Prime Minister after his speech, it demonstrated that more than 100 delegates stood in a line to greet
What
the
did these
Prime
people
Minister.
say? Who were key amongst them? What did they say? What was their general feedback?
Their feedback ranged from issues of direct concern to them in the United Nations. There was a lot of interest in the Prime Minister's articulation on issues relating to development, climate change, the rights of women. Then there was a lot of interest in delegations on issues relating to the reform of the United Nations, including the reform of the Security Council. But I think overall, everybody was happy that a leader from a major country focused on the 70th anniversary of the United Nations, which is due next year. And the Prime Minister's questions, which he posed at the end of his speech, resonated throughout the hall in making everyone realize that they have to prepare themselves to participate in the 70th anniversary summit 1 year from now with a sense of clear objective and purpose.
The Prime Minister also met with Ban Ki-moon, the Secretary General of the United Nations. What came out of that meeting, sir?
The meeting with the Secretary General was useful to cover the broad areas of cooperation between India and the United Nations. There was a discussion on India's role in peacekeeping and how to sustain it. There was a discussion on climate change issues and Prime Minister's own personal interest and contribution to climate change. There was a discussion of the main themes of the Prime Minister's speech on from Red Fort on Independence Day, especially as far as the issues of rights of women and of cleanliness were concerned, sanitation and cleanliness. Apart from that, there was a discussion on the need for a holistic approach, and there was discussion of the 70th anniversary summit of the
Finally, before I end, sir, what are you making of the Prime Minister's assertion on Kashmir being a bilateral issue not to be raised at a multilateral forum like the United Nations?
Well, that is part of a tradition and a legal position for both India and Pakistan ever since the Simla Agreement was signed between the two countries, because under the Simla Agreement, the issue of Jammu and Kashmir is clearly a bilateral issue to be dealt with by the two countries, not in any United Nations forum.